right. So I just wanted to go through a little bit more in depth of a review for this Boss RC500. This is the first looper that I've used extensively. I've had a couple loopers in the past that I would just have on a larger pedal board just for sketching out ideas. And there were a few times when I would use it performing, but I ultimately found it to be um, limiting. So this was the first looper that I saw that had the flexibility and the features that I was looking for in order to translate music the way that I was hoping to, and that is with the two separate loops. In my use, I'm using one for percussion mostly, and one for a melodic loop in order to be able to solo over top of, and uh, and those are the two features that I needed as a very basic bottom line, non-negotiable understanding in order to get into looping the way that I saw fit. And this looper has completely changed my live performance in a very positive way, and it's allowed me to step into the realm of looping. And from this point onward, I'll certainly be utilizing this as a part of my writing process, as a part of my gigging process. I play, a lot of gigs in restaurants and breweries and bars, and this helps me to be able to translate a lot of elements of certain songs that I never would have before. Experiment with rhythmic focuses and certain changes, and allows me to make a more original uh, take on songs that are very well known. That's just something I find to be quite interesting and exciting about music. So, um, I have played so many gigs with this pedal. I'm not sure if you can see from that far away. Maybe I can zoom in. There are rings around the buttons where I had these plastic switches attached, and I've been hitting the pedal so often and stepping on it that it has worn through the paint. And I found that actually it works better without having a button on there, or at least this particular button. Maybe having a different button would allow me to press it more firmly. And the thing that I've found actually now around 300 gigs is sometimes, and at more than I would like, this happens. The button double presses for some reason, mostly on the rhythmic side. I'm not sure if I'll be able to get it to happen. It's kind of, it just happens when it wants to, and sometimes I really have to nail it, just like that. You see that? That happened. And I've tried so many different ways of going about it, but if I press, just sometimes it it double presses, and I find it to be incredibly disturbing throughout the performance. So I'm hoping that the new looper that they come out with Boss, that they came out with, has a different set of buttons. That would be amazing. Maybe I just got a defective one, or I've used it so much that it has started to wear down. I'm not sure. Um, but other than this one flaw, I absolutely love this pedal. Instead of upgrading to the new Boss unit, I actually thought of making, oh, there we go, two of these MIDI sync together. I was really hoping that could be the next way I could go, but they made so many great effects and things into the single package of the Boss RC600. I've heard there are some issues, software issues with it so far, and I'm hoping that it is not the case with the one that I have, and maybe in the way that I seek to use it, I'll avoid any of those issues. Fingers crossed. But if the universe seeks to push me down the road of coming back to this RC500, I actually would have no trouble using two of these units, and I think I would find almost all of the flexibility that I seek inside of two of these units. Um, but that's just down the road. I think either way, I would have to sell this unit and get a new one since I'm starting to wear the buttons out. So I'm gonna go ahead and just try the new RC600 out as my next looper coming up. So all in all, great, really great pedal. I'm very happy that I bought it, and I would suggest to anybody getting into looping that this would be a better first stop than a single button looper. And I can't see any others in this price range that are so basic, but then also there's depth to them and allow flexibility. One other complaint I have with this looper, and I found that it's actually the same for the new looper. I was hoping they would have fixed it, but it sends out MIDI clock data, and that MIDI clock data will sync the HX Stomp. So the HX Stomp delay and modulation effects, if you want it to, will sync to the beat that you lay down. And that is amazing, but unfortunately, when you stop the loop, it stops sending MIDI data. So then the delay that was at one point synced will unsync, and it'll return to whatever previous tapped tempo you gave it. And in the process, you will get a odd effect. I'll show you what it kind of sounds like. So you have this constant delay, but when it changes, it does that little pitch warble in order to change speed. It's affecting the actual pitch of the delay in a weird way, and it becomes aggravating. So unfortunately, I've had to take out the MIDI sync, and I typically tap in whatever speed of modulation I would like. I'm surprised I haven't worn out this button yet, because in the course of tapping as much as I do and as vigorously as I do, I thought I would have worn that button out, but I have not. Anyway, love this pedal. It's gotten me through so many performances and so many great experiences. And now that I have everything together for the new board, I think it's time to say goodbye to the Boss RC500. I hope it is a final goodbye. I hope the RC600 is everything I hoped it should be. But if not, I know that with the purchase of two of these synced together, I would also be very happy. So thank you, Boss, for making a really awesome product, and I look forward to getting into it, your next creation here soon. All right, thanks again, yo.